Welcome to Trading Lounge and the soft commodities report. Many of the commodities are pushing to the upside now, which is great. So we've got, as always, there's obviously sometimes there's no trades and then suddenly there's lots of trades, and it's a little bit like that scenario here for soft commodities. So with coffee here, coffee tends to run with sugar for whatever reasons, but so they're both pushing up nicely. But the reason I'm using the daily chart here for is because the work that we've done before, we've been looking for this market to move down, and you can see that it's basically landed and now it's lifting off here. And I think last time we spoke about coffee, which is quite some time ago, is that we're looking for a high above here to go long, or a new low here to go short, just in case it fell out of bed. Obviously, it's moved to the upside, so we need to find a way in now. Probably left it a little bit late. It would have been nice to catch a move through here, so to speak, but still not too late. So we're going to explore that. First of all, this is the low here. Okay, so realistically we've got this move here, this move back, and this move here. So it could be counted as an A and a B and a C wave here, for an A wave here, and then a B wave here, and then a C wave here, and then failing from that point. Okay, so that's possible, but I've labeled it based on this market landing here, and what's going on in other markets as wave 1 here and wave 2 here, then wave 1 and wave 2, because the difference between this correction here in 3 waves and this one here in 3 waves is that this one here is much bigger. So it's bigger than this one here, the previous one. So it must mean that the market is expanding to the upside. So everything is going to be growing by 61.8% in terms of trends and corrections, and that's where the levels come in, of course. So we really need to sort of drill in here a little bit to figure out where we are within this structure here. So I'm just going to cut through to the 15-minute chart, if that's okay, and just sort of pick it up from this low here. So it's a bit squashy, but from that low there, I was counting all these little structures here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for wave. Whoopsie daisy. Let's just get these things working. So wave 1 here, wave 2 here, and then we've got basically wave 1 and 2 here, and 3 and 4, and another little 5 waves here for wave 3 here. They could be counted differently too. Could also be counted another 1 and 2 here, but I'm just going to leave it where it is at the moment because I think that I'm on the right track here. Anyway, wave 4 here. So basically wave 1 and 2 in here, and 3 and 4 and 5 to here, which would make a wave 1 here. And I'm not even sure I got the right degree of structure here, but it doesn't matter. I know I got the right count. So we've got a corrective pattern in here as wave 2, and then we're moving off here again as well here. So in this instance here, we can see that, if I can just open this up a little bit, we've got wave 1 and 2 here, and then we're looking for 5 waves up here, which will peter out shortly here, maybe the 13.4, and then we'll see wave 5 here. Now, because the extension's in wave 3 here, that means that wave 1 here and wave 5 from 4 here will be roughly the same length here. So if we just look for that as the 38.2% pullback, then wave 5 up here, and let's just make sure what we're working with here. That's 13.5 here. So yeah, that's fair enough. That 500 stronger than 400, of course. And then we'd see an A, whoopsie-daisy, a B, and a C wave here. How far that would pull back, we could look at the normal sort of standard sort of 50-60% issue here, but textbook thing. But we just need to be a little bit careful because I'll just put this in here. Careful because we're in a strong trend. See, we've got the wave 1 here and wave 2. You can see how this is really strengthening up here now. So it's showing or displaying the personality of a wave 3 coming up here now. So it may not be pulled back here. I mean, the 13 is a major trading level, so we may get lucky and see it pull back, but I think it's probably a better strategy to have sprinkle very small contracts on at different prices as we go through here and take the heat on this 50-60% retracement level here. Okay, moving on to the next one. I wanted to have a look at sugar because from my small amount of experience with these and watching them, it's nice to have the sugar and the coffee sort of moving together. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. And in this instance here, we're seeing what we've got from the low here. We've got the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. We've had that in place in the A, the B and the C for wave 2, pulling back 50-60%. Then wave 1, back for wave 2, then wave 1, back for wave 2. So we can see that this market will continue to push higher into this third wave here, then a fourth and a fifth wave here. So being long here is also the way to go here. So obviously you've got to choose. You can't trade everything at once, but I mean, you can spread your bet as well. But certainly this is a really good trend to the upside here. So if I was looking at this myself, personally, I would think to myself, alrighty, we're in minor wave 3 moving up here, and we've got a fair bit to go up here. So if I could get, maybe a little position in here and one up here a little bit further and then just chill out, because there will be vibrations across the major trading level 2 here in corrective terms. And once that swinging has settled and the market has settled on this number price point as support, then look to add again. So keeping very small positions in there and just building into the trend. You could even use the monthly robo or weekly robo to sort of help things along a little bit, but monthly obviously would be better if you're going for the long haul. But once again, looking very good on this side here. Okay, we'll touch on the cocoa market. It's just not ready yet, that's all, and it's taken. We've had this particular count for a long time now, and it's just played out perfectly. So what we're looking for down here, of course, is 5 waves. So once we've made a new low here, we'll start investigating this for the long trade to the upside. Of course, there's more room to short this, of course, but it will get bouncy. And one of the first things that you would need to do is pretty much wait for the retest here, and then once that fails, look to short it here. I mean, if you can get volumes from the futures market, so to speak, then that any retest of this particular price point here would need to be on lower volume here. As such, but I'd certainly just wait for this to play out down here, but there's nothing stopping you from shorting this, and in fact it makes a nice hedge, two-way trade on the on any long trades you've got on in. Now, last time we spoke about soybeans, and we'll have a look at soybean meal as well, but basically we've got a nice trend emerging up through here. If you're long already, then that's terrific, but otherwise, this would be a point to get in on around here. This structure, certainly, because of this 3-wave price action here, it means that we're looking for the next 5 waves up here. So that's 1 and 2 and 3, ABC for 4, testing back in on the support here. Probably pulled back a bit too far, but that's okay. Looking for wave 5 to touch on the 1000 here. So that's likely to move up to the 1100 rather, but then we'll be looking at another wave 4 here. So there's a bit of a few series of wave 4s going on here. The best way to get in, I don't know. I think that the trade here is valid, but this would certainly be using this level here as a classic trading levels pattern, the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, then the correction, and then getting in here and catching this wave up here would be the go. When we look at soybean meal as such, just on the daily chart here, we can see that it's quite strong here as well. So in line with the soybean here, we would expect a little push up into this area here. and then the correction as wave 4 here. So I won't go into a lot of detail here because yeah, it's just the same. And you know, if it moves up, then 38 is the number that we're looking for here. 8 is a profit taking number, so the bids will be hit basically, so there'll be selling going on at that point there. So yeah, but then wave 5 up here, we wouldn't expect too much out of wave 5 as well. Expect it to stretch to 40, which is another major trading level, medium trading level here. And that because the other point here is because the extension's in this wave 3 here, then wave 1 here and wave 5 will be roughly the same. But because it's so small here, we can expect it to be small. But if the market's going to play out at 38, which is 95% probability that it will, and react there and then push up from that point. So yeah, we'll just be chasing the trend a little bit, but there is space here to be had here. Okay, the soybean oil is in a bit of a soft spot at the moment. And I'm not sure about the particular count. There's different ways to count this up. Obviously, we're in an uptrend here, but if we just focus in on this little area here, then we can work the trade from the long side and look at the levels and so on. So this little move here is just not finished yet. Okay, so just want to pull into the 2-hour chart if I think I've been working with that. Yeah, okay, I have. So that's cool. So in this case here, we've got this top in play here, and we noted that we had a move down here in 5 waves. So we're looking for an A and a B and a C to come back to the 50-60% retracement level. So that's done. So we'd be looking for, you know, at least one more move down here. So this has rallied quite high here, but it's because this is in 3 waves here, then we'd look for one more move to come here. So we've got the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave. How far this is going to come down, I don't know, but what I'm going to do is just do nothing for the time being, and let's just see how it sort of unfolds. I want to see it come down here further to give us wave C. Now, it may extend down further than I'm thinking, or it might just find support sort of after one more little move here, because once this is done here, what we can look at here is group 1, so 1, 2, and 3 here. So if we move down here and then we finally get some sort of support on this level here, well, then that will be our long trade from that point there. But this needs to finish. It needs to be resolved in some way. And yeah, technically it should make a new low below here because this is in 3 waves here. I can see the other markets are strong and this wants to go up, but also too, this is not finished here. The other point with this too is that this can just be the A wave here, a B wave here, and 5 waves up for a C wave into this area here. So it makes this a more complicated correction in terms of an A and a B and a C here for the B wave, and then down for the C wave here. So there's a few things going on here that that we need to resolve. So there's other better markets at this stage rather than the soybean oil. Okay, corn. Now, corn is looking very positive and we can expect new highs. Before I talk about this though, I need to talk about this. So this move here is very clearly in 3 waves, okay? So what it does, it makes whatever happens in this space here also part of a corrective pattern, okay? Now, because it's in 3 waves, we may be able to play it out as an A wave and a B wave, and then a C wave up here. Or it's going to play out in a triangle pattern. So the triangle would be pretty much the space that I've got here, and yeah, so it would be an A and a B and a C and a D and an E here and then down. So it's not finished. And the only other thing I can think of, because the other ones and other commodities moving, is we've got a truncated 5th wave here. That would mean that that this low over here is the actual low, and somehow we've got 5 waves in here. And it's really quite fitting as well, because if I just move these out of the way here, and I want to move this out of the way, then we would put this here as the A, the B, and the C wave over here. I'll just clean these up here. Don't need that. And just bear with me a sec. As wave 1 here, wave 2 here, wave 3 here, wave 4 here, and wave 5 here. So that can be the end of it, and having it as a truncated fifth wave there. So that's really on the cards as well here. But what I want to talk about here is actually making money, and this is quite a good opportunity here. And the reason that it is a good opportunity here is because we've got 5 waves up here and we've got 3 waves back here. So we're going to pull back to the 50-60% mark. So we're going to be taking the top out of wave 1 here. So I think this is what we're looking at. We're looking at a 5-wave structure here. So going long here, and keeping the stop well out of the way for the time being, okay? And, just go a small position here, because the 400 is going to give you grief. We're going to see vibrations across that level there. So a small position at current price, and a really wide stop. Maybe under the 72 mark here or somewhere there. And the idea would be to have a small position here, and then we can look to build on top of the 400 if everything is still rosy with the other commodity markets and so on. And we can build into this. So, and obviously the building in process will be on group 1. So 10, 20, and 30, then 50 and 80 here. So our aim would be to get from 400 to 500 here. Don't worry about this here too much. That wave 3 can be much higher here as well here. So, but the main point is that if you get a small position now, just moving these out of the way, just something a bit more realistic here. So, yeah, look, getting a small position here and then building on the 400. So you want a position on the 400, you want 1 on 410, 1 on 420, and 1 on 430. And when I say that, you want them as tested support. So don't buy them when they first get there. You can do that if you want, but that's fine. But, if you want to refine things a little bit and be a bit more sure of things, then that tested support is what we're looking at. But because we've got 3 waves here, because we've got 5 here and 3 here, we'll be making new highs above here. So, and this is the likely trend of things. Okay, and wheat. Now, it's possible that we can be pushing up here as well. If that's the case, then I've got the count wrong here, and the count wrong would be that from wave 4 up here being wave 1 here, wave 2 here. This would have to be wave 3 over here if we were going to have a low in place, and this being wave 4 here, and then 5 waves down to this low point here as the 5th wave here. It kind of makes sense on what's going on with the other markets as well. And then we would make this wave 1 here and this a wave 1 up here. I don't know this, but we're going to have a plan to work through with this, and then wave 2 here and wave 3. So we're basically building up in this direction here with this. So the thing that I like about this is that this move down through here is displaying as a corrective 3-wave price action. So when we have a look at this on, I can't remember if it was 2 hour or 15 minutes or something. Yeah, okay. So basically that move back down here, which we're seeing in other markets, is in 3 waves here. And now that we're pushing up here, we're pushed up below wave A here. The only other weak spot in this here is the 61.8% retracement level. So roughly in there. So currently, let's just bring this into play here. Buying off lows is dangerous business, so you kind of got to wedge your way in a little bit. So I'm thinking that, so from this high, because this could be wave 1 here and back for wave 2, then wave 1 down of a smaller degree and back for wave 2 to this point here, and then failing from here. Okay, so if we were going to go to the long side up here, I would always turn bullish, of course, if 500 became the support in the bigger picture. That's what we'd be looking for. But we're asking ourselves, well, the other markets are moving, is it time to get into this one here too? And possibly so. But to be a little bit safe is you can either buy now and keep the stop well out of the way here, or we wait for this 5-wave sequence to come up to the 500, react here. Once it pulls back and we can identify that it's pulled back in 3 waves, then we've got 3 bits of evidence. We've got the evidence of 3 waves here, making it corrective. That means that top will be taken out. The other bit of evidence is that we'll have 5 waves here. So after 5 waves in the opposite direction, we'll get another 5 up here. And thirdly, if this is also in a corrective pattern here, we would have that on our side as well. So we could go in and buy at this point here. So if you wanted to go through all of this here, then it's possible to buy here, but like I said, you have to leave the stop out of the way. So any position here would have to be very small, something you don't have to worry about, and you could leave it and you could add later through here and add in this side over here. So this one's a little bit unsure, but it's certainly starting to give us a little bit of hope that we're going to see a larger impulse wave being played out to the upside. All right, that pretty much covers the soft commodities. Thanks for tuning in.